If you're ready to quit your 9-to-5 job and start making over $1,000 a day, then I've got the course for you. You just need to sign up below. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Wealth Hacker Lab. For those that enjoyed that introduction, gotta give a shout out to Nate O'Brien. He's the one that gave me the inspiration for that funny intro and also for the content of this video. And I've done a similar video like this in the past, and these videos are always tricky because many people that when they see somebody sharing like how much they make and how their business is doing, it's like, oh, you're just bragging, you're just talking about yourself and how great you are, and it's like, okay, and I get it, right? But the other part is that I like doing these videos because there was a time in my life that I needed to hear this. Like, I needed to hear somebody that achieved success, that it wasn't because they inherited a bunch of money. It wasn't because they won the lottery. You know, it's because they were determined to figure something out, and they did. And through a lot of trial and error, they finally did. And that's, you know, pretty much my story. For those that don't know, hey, so this is Wealth Hacker Labs. My name is Jeff Rose, and what I'm sharing today are some of the income sources, the main income sources that I have, and breaking it down for last month. At the end of this video, I'm also going to share like what are the 4 key things that contributed to me achieving that amount, and I hope that there's some big takeaways here. Now, for those that are absolutely new to the channel, now is that prime opportunity that you can subscribe, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But no, seriously, like for those that are new that don't know my story, I didn't inherit money. I didn't come from wealth. Both my parents filed bankruptcy, not once but twice. This was after they divorced when I was young, and I didn't have rich family. I didn't have rich friends. Like, everything that I have learned has been through trial and error, and just through a lot of God putting the right people in my life, but also not willing to be afraid to try new things and fail a lot. And I think you've probably heard the expression or phrase, you know, fail forward. And that's what I did. Any opportunity that came along that it didn't work out the way that I envisioned, I didn't use that to, it didn't ruin me. Like, it didn't destroy me. It didn't prevent me to going back up there again. You know, think of a baseball analogy. Like, I struck out plenty of times, but I was willing to go up to bat again and again and again. And eventually it worked out. All right, for the sake of this video, I decided to break it down into 5 income streams just to make it nice and simple for you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and break this down. So the first income stream that I get are from brand sponsorship deals. And it's probably thinking, no, I'm not selling like any hair products or any makeup. Surprisingly, there are brands that want to partner with personal finance experts, and I do use air quotes there. But it's also with that. So this is something that I got really excited doing. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Started to make some good money from it, and then decided to take a break. And just here in the last month, I got paid. It was 2 separate checks. One was for $25,000. The other one was for $7,250, for a grand total of $32,250. Now that is not, didn't get paid for like a one-time thing where like I do that every month. Both of these were installment payments, and I think one was for like a 90-day deal. One was for, I believe it's 6 months. I'd have to double check. And these are fun for me because I finally got to a point where I'm only saying yes to the ones that really speak to me, that just like, yeah, like why wouldn't I do that? You know, it's just, as I like to say, it's a hell yeah, not a hell no. And most of these deals are a package deal. So this will include a YouTube video. This will include potentially a blog post either on my site or on their site. Always includes social media promotion. So this could be tweets, Facebook updates, Instagram shares, IG stories, and all of these are some sort of package deal. Like I said, these are awesome. So I think last year was the first time that I made over 100,000 doing all these brand deals. And with that, there was only, I think, 4 that I did. And this year I've already surpassed that, and it's February. So I'm doing pretty good. Now, I don't know how many more are going to come around. Actually, funny thing is, I actually have a contract sitting over here for another brand. I've never worked with them, and they're offering me $25,000. And I'm saying no. It's something I've looked at. I've looked at it at the scope of work, and it's just doesn't fit with my time, my agenda. It requires some travel, and I like to travel, but I like to travel with my family or with my wife and sometimes my kids. So, but this one was like, it was a time where I couldn't take anybody with me just because of school and everything else. And the more I looked at it, it's like, no, like this isn't something that I want to do. And I feel really grateful to be in a position where I can turn down a really good chunk of money, where there was definitely a time in my life where I would have said yes, like in an instant. Like, oh, you want to pay me this, $25,000 to go do this and write a few posts? Like, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? Whereas now it's like, okay, no, like that actually takes away from the things that are most important to me right now, and what they're willing to pay doesn't justify me losing out on that quality time. But nonetheless, brand deals, like that is one of the income sources I have coming in. Second income source that I have coming in is from the sale of my financial planning practice. And for those, once again, if you're new to the channel, maybe didn't know this, but I was a financial planner for 16 years, started off with a brokerage firm, and then co-founded my own investment firm, went on to found my own wealth management firm. And last year I sold that business. And with that, it was structured to where there was some money up front and the rest was an earn out over, I believe it's 6 or 7 years. In fact, I don't know that off the top of my head. You'll have to pardon that. Do have the contract so I could go find out if I needed to. But with that, they just send me a check every single month, and just got the check in the mail. Is one of the reasons why I decided to do this video. So you can see, try to blur out my address there, but you can see that amount. It is $11,764.47. And now that is not something that I get every month. As far as that amount goes, I do get a check every single month, but it ranges anywhere from $8,000 to $11,000 on up to $20,000. Just depends on the revenue that's generated that month. But this is fun. You know, I love just getting, for those that aren't new to the channel, like you can't see it, maybe you can, a little money in the bank suitcase, but like this is money in the bank.
Rollins a fingertip away from winning Mr. Money in the Bank. Or is it Kofi's time?
And with this, like I could have structured a few different ways. Most firms aren't going to pay you all up front unless you're willing to be there and really help out with the transition. Now, in my case, like I was already moved away from the business. Like we moved here to the Nashville area. So I wasn't even there. I had been removed from the business for over a year, actually no, almost 2 years. And to protect the buyers, you know, for them to give a lot of money up front when they don't know if the clients are going to stick around. I mean, it puts more on me to make sure that I'm helping out with that transition, you know, as much as I am willing or able. So that's why we did the earn out. And it's been good though. You know, most of the clients have stayed, and it's been awesome for the clients, it's been awesome for them. And obviously it's been awesome for me because I'm still getting paid on a business that I sold last year. All right, the third revenue source, and this is probably the one that you all are most curious about because you're watching this on YouTube. And YouTube is, it's been a fun one, and I mean that very sarcastically. So for those that, you know, if you watch other YouTubers, actually even looking at Nate O'Brien, the example I shared in the beginning, I think on his video he shared where he's making anywhere between $25,000 to $30,000 per month on his YouTube channel. I've done videos where I talked about Graham Stephan, who, you know, has openly shared that he's making over $120,000, I believe, off his YouTube channel. And, you know, looking at mine, so if you look here, I don't know if you can see that number. If not, I'll do a screen share later. But that said $55,970. And you're probably thinking, dang, Jeff, like that's pretty good. You know, you're making more than Nate, not as much as Graham, but yeah, that's not bad. Well, maybe you couldn't see that. That actually was for the last 365 days. So over the last year. No, in fact, so in the month of January, this is how much I really made on the channel. And once again, I'll do a screen share if you can't read those numbers. But the number there is $3,839. So just under $4,000. Oh, so as I mentioned, I have a love-hate relationship with YouTube because YouTube definitely has been a platform. You know, when I've been on YouTube for quite a while, and then about 2 years ago is when I really went back into it, and that's when my channel, for me, exploded. It went from just under 10,000 subscribers to 290,000. Now, you can't see my counter, but it's back there. But then I've seen these younger guys just come and just crush it. And I took a break on YouTube, and many of you may or may not notice, but over the summer, I just didn't like just stop doing videos, but I went from doing 3 to 4 videos a week to doing like maybe 1 a week. And I didn't put a lot of time and energy in those videos. And YouTube just knows. And I think you all probably could tell, because I just the engagement I was getting on those videos wasn't what I was getting. And after that, like I just saw just the subscribers drop. I saw the traffic drop. Some of my more popular videos just were not being promoted or recommended on YouTube anymore. And starting back in August is whenever my kids went back to school, I had more time. Like, all right, I'm gonna get back into this. And there have been some videos that have done decent, but not nearly the same level of success that I would say that I was getting prior to me taking a break. And it's like, man, like YouTube, like you don't realize, like, you know, at least for me, and maybe you all don't know, if you're not producing YouTube content, like just to turn on a camera and record, well, kind of doing that with this video, but on my other videos, like there are, you know, it's me doing an outline, is jotting down notes, is like just thinking and like, oh, just thinking of funny phrases and, you know, different memes that you can put in, kind of like this one.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
But just using a more recent video example, I did this one on bad financial advice that experts share. And that one, like I spent a couple hours, like just outlining it, putting down some notes, getting out some numbers, then you record it. And that's like another hour, hour and a half, spending some time with my editor, making sure that I get all the memes and all the clips in there that I want, the thumbnail, like all that goes into it. And then that video gets 3,000 views. Like that is definitely frustrating. And for those that want to do YouTube, I don't mean this as be a discouragement, because I still believe that YouTube is a platform that you can grow exponentially faster than, say, like a blog, even though like blogging is my thing. But if you know how to do video and you're good at it, like you can definitely get noticed. But then after that, I mean, YouTube is this, if you're not in the content hamster wheel, you kind of get pushed to the side. And there are definitely some outliers. I mean, Graham Stephan definitely is one of them. I mean, but that dude is cranking out content like crazy, you know, doing 3 to 4 videos, like I think a week just on his main channel. But I've seen other creators that maybe do like 1 or 2 videos and they're still doing okay. So like, yeah, I don't know. But for me, it's not so much the money. It's really just the challenge. Like I want to figure out the YouTube algorithm. Like I want to figure out what it is about a video that YouTube likes and will promote to their audience. And one of the things that help out with that YouTube algorithm, as you may or may not know, is smashing that like button if you want to go ahead and take care of that, just to get rid of that formality. But anyway, YouTube is still a revenue source. It's nothing to sneeze at, but it's still not a main revenue driver. One thing I don't think I added this in the other talking about the brand deals though, is that as my YouTube channel has grown, the brand deals have become more prevalent. They see that and they say, oh, you've got this platform. And, you know, I've got a Twitter, I got a Twitter. You got a Twitter? I got a Twitter. You know, I got Facebook and all that. But with YouTube, as that started to grow, I started getting more brands willing to pay. And it's pretty cool. Like, you know, right now I think the highest I've gotten paid on one video is either 20 or 25,000 for one video. And that's crazy to me. You know, and it was a video that I was allowed to introduce like my own story, you know, like just my own narrative. They didn't give me a script that I had to read. Had to get approved before I recorded it, but nonetheless, like they allowed me to have my voice. And if you get paid to do a video, which you enjoy doing, and it's allowing you to tell your story and not really change who you are, like that's awesome. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, third revenue source is YouTube. Revenue source number 4, and this is by far the biggest one here, is the blog, and that's goodfinancialsense.com. Now, I have this as income source number 4, but the reality, if we were to peel back the layers of this revenue, this income, I mean, there are many different buckets, many different avenues of income streams that are coming in. But the total revenue on that is $224,427. That's fun, y'all. Like, that's fun to share. Now, what's not fun to share is that that revenue number is actually about 35 to 40% less than what it was a year ago. So that's not fun whenever you have a business and you start seeing the trend line go, woo. Now, luckily, it never hit the bottom. We hit a level out patch. You know, we finally, I guess, stopped the bleeding. And there's been some change up. There's been some restructuring going on behind the scenes. But still, like, I'm still here sharing that, like, oh, my business has dropped, but yet it's still producing over almost $250,000. And full confidence that we'll get back to where we were last year before the end of this year. And in fact, I would like to get about 25 to 35% higher than our high of last year. But this is one that's been a lot of fun. The blog was a thing that I started as not even a side hustle. It was a marketing tool for the financial planning practice. And whenever I discovered that you could make money from a website, like, that was such a game changer for me. And if you've not seen the video where I talk about how you can make $100 a day from Google AdSense, I kind of share the beginning stages of making money from the blog. So be sure to check out that video. And from there, it's just been gangbusters, you know. And even before YouTube, even before podcasting, like, having that blog, having that platform opened up so many other doors that I can't even fathom. Like, I can't even name them all right now, but it just created so many opportunities that I never could have imagined, because you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know until I just put myself out there and started doing all this blogging stuff. And it's just fun to see where it has grown. But that is income source number 4. And income source number 5 is one that is writing for larger publications. And I'm not going to share the name of the 2 places I write for right now, just because I don't know if they like sharing, and I don't want to, like, break any confidentiality agreement or anything like that. For those that don't know, like, how I was able to grow my brand, my voice, like who I am, was by guest writing for other blogs. You know, nowadays, like, you got social media wasn't as big then, you know, like, it's really taken off. So I was writing guest articles for other blogs, you know, to get exposure to their readers, to their audience. And I also would get backlinks back to my site in that process. And then from there, it allowed me to start writing for bigger sites. And sites I used to write for would be like US News. I used to write for Equifax. I used to write for, not AOL, but AOL is Daily Finance. I don't think they exist anymore. And there's some others in the mix. And with these, like, you're just getting access to a bigger platform. Now, most of these platforms now, like, they don't pay you. So, like, as an example, I was writing for Inc.com, and they don't pay. You know, they want you to produce so much content, like, a month, but they don't pay you. And the trade-off is like, oh, you're getting exposure. I don't need exposure. I mean, but in some cases, sometimes you do need exposure, you know, if you don't have an audience, if you don't have that credibility behind you. So with that, now with all those, like, I'm good on exposure. So if I want to write, you know, I want to get paid for it, and I also want to get exposure, and I also want to get backlinks to my site. So that is why I still do the 2 platforms that I do. And between the 2, last month I made just over $4,000. $4,188 is what I got paid on for that platform. And there is some miscellaneous revenue streams that are coming in, one of which is the royalties from this book. You can see the camouflage piggy back here, but that's my book, Soldier Finance, available on Amazon. Probably not Barnes & Noble unless you request it. I don't get paid a whole lot. If you were to go buy a book, I mean, that would be awesome. I would be forever grateful, but the truth is I'm probably going to make like $1.47 if you buy that book. Still grateful, especially if it helps you, impacts you. But that is a revenue stream. I still generate some course sales from my advisor course that I have that I've mentioned before in other videos. And I have a partner right now on that business that we worked out a deal where I'm basically just getting residuals from that business, but that also comes in. I have a few other digital products that are making some money and could have put all those together and shared that number with you, but if I'm being honest, that was more work than I wanted to do today. So we're just gonna throw that into the miscellaneous bucket right now, and I'm not even gonna add that to the total. So the grand total from all these different revenue streams are $276,468. And just so that I wouldn't mess that number up, I even wrote it down on one of my handy dandy oversized note cards here, but I don't know if they even focus, but here it is. But the funny thing is, I don't know if you can tell, I actually wrote down the wrong number. I wrote 267, not 276. So actually, maybe, I hope this is the wrong number. The number I just shared is the right number. I don't know. I might need to add this up at the end to make sure I didn't transpose a few numbers. But those are the numbers. Like that's the revenue, that's the income that was coming in. That's for the month of January. But what I wanted to do now is like take some time and really share like what are the 4 key things that I can attribute to why I've been able to achieve this, and also do so in a way that doesn't I'm not stressed out. Like I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it, which is truly a blessing. All right, the first thing that you need is a proven business concept. You gotta know that something's going to make money. And I recognize now, like I had that with the financial planning practice. You know, that was a proven business concept. I also had that, even though I didn't really realize it at the time, is that with the website, the blog, like that was a proven business concept because there were other sites that were making money. I just didn't know that that was even an option. But this is a far cry from those that have a good idea that they know is going to be a money maker, and like you just know, like, oh yeah, like that's gonna be great.
Uh-oh, Saltweens, saltines for tweens. A new brand of bottled water called H2O.
But having a proven business concept that you know is going to make money, and one that you can execute on. And the second part of that you need is an imperfect process. And I'm intentional by saying not a perfect process or just a normal process, but an imperfect process. And what I mean by that is that, and it really started with the financial planning practice, because for me to take time off from that to focus on other parts of my business is that I had to create processes so that other team members could execute on the things that I didn't want to do, didn't have time to do, or wasn't getting paid enough to do it. And the reason why it's an imperfect process is because, one, it's never going to be perfect. I mean, a process, I mean, you can spend all the time and energy and put it all down, but the reality is that things are going to change in your business, in the market, you know, with the economy, with trends in your industry. And if you're not making constant updates, constant tweaks to your process, then you're going to miss out and you're going to lose out, and potentially you might lose out on revenue. You might end up losing clients. So it's something that's ever evolving. Now for me, like that was one of the hardest things to do, is because a lot of stuff that I did was all up here. And I'm such a visionary, always moving on to the next thing, quick start, big idea guy, that I didn't want to take time to make a process out of everything. But I finally understood, and this was after I paid a lot of money to coaching programs and talking to other mentors, that unless I actually just sit down and do it, it's never going to get done. And I'm always going to be stuck growing, and I'm going to just be in the state of misery because I didn't take that time to do it. And the cool thing I also learned is that it's not as hard as you think. And there's some other ways that you can make that really simple that I can do another video on. But having that imperfect process is crucial. The third thing that you need, if you're a visionary like myself, what you need is an operator. And that's a term I'm actually getting from this book here called The Synergist, which was recommended to me by several of my entrepreneur friends. This is by Les McCowan. And so it's funny because whenever I joined my coaching program that I've talked about in the past, it didn't use like these key words, but it definitely talked about a lot of similar things that Les is talking about in his book. But in that, it's like, so if I'm the visionary guy, like I got the big idea, I've got all the cool things that we can do, I need somebody on my team that's actually going to execute. on what those are. In addition to that, I also need somebody, and it could be the same person, that's going to manage all of that workflow. You know, it's going to manage all of that data. It's going to manage all the tasks, all the subtasks, all the team members that's going to like be doing all the work. And for me, like one of the key things I finally recognized that I needed, like the crucial part of my business was having that operator, somebody that was going to manage and also help execute. And that is among many game changers in my business. But when I recognize that I just don't, the way I'm wired, the way that God made me, like I'm not an operator. Like I don't do processes. I'm just not good at the follow through, but I can create an idea that I'm 100%, actually I'm confident all my ideas are gonna work out, which is also something I gotta be wary of. But the operator to me, like right now, what that represents in my business, is that I have all these ideas. They're all awesome, of course, duh. But the operator is the one that I share these ideas with, and then that person can then give me feedback like, Jeff, that's an awesome idea. We can talk about that next quarter. Right now, we got to focus on these 3 things. Or he can also say, Jeff, that is a horrible idea. Like that is not going to execute at all. Like just, yeah, go back to the drawing board, retweak it, and then come back to me. And like that is so huge, and what's allowed me to have this business and to have this way of life. And it kind of ties in what the fourth thing is, and I kind of alluded to it just here in that last blip there with the operator, is that having a connected vision. And so often we have these ideas that maybe we share with our friends. Maybe you have a mastermind group and you share with them, which is awesome. But having that connected vision with your team, with the people that you are working with, that you guys are all working together, making sure that you understand what everybody is doing and why they are doing it, and what is the greater purpose, like what is the greater mission here, and to be able to have that open dialogue. Having that connected vision is, I really can't even put it to words, you know, like it's just, it means so much. And it's not the fact that your business won't grow, like it's not that it won't be successful if you don't have that or these things, but to have a business that generates $276,000 or $67,000 a month, and to do so when I can work 10, 15, 20, on a hard week, it's 30 hours, and I can't even remember the last time that actually really happened. So is it passive income? Well, a lot of you fun trolls out there would say, that's not passive, that's not passive. And I get it, like it's not, but there are definitely times when I don't work, that I can take off in the middle of the day. Like if my daughter has a dance recital, I can go watch that in the middle of the day. If my family wants to go on vacation this week, we can go on vacation. If I want to take my son to go see the Lakers play so-and-so, like I can take him. I can coach my son's basketball teams. You know, I can go to a daddy-daughter dance or a dance recital practice, you know, in the middle of the day. I can go to lunch with my wife during the middle of the day. Like these are, I am not bound by my business, and that's huge. Like that is huge, and like I said, it's so hard to like even share. But I want to share all of this because the whole point of doing this video, and the whole point really of doing the Wealth Hacker channel, is I want to talk to the younger version of me that's out there. You know, to you, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30-year-old that knows that there is a different way to grow wealth. You're just not sure what that is. Like, I just want to give you just like a behind the scenes look and show you like that it can happen, because it's happening right now. And for all intents and purposes, like I shouldn't be as successful as I am based off my upbringing, based on everything that's happened in my life. But it has, you know, and I'm definitely grateful for it. And I'm hoping that you watching this can also achieve a similar type of success. But the key thing in all of this is just identifying what are those micro steps that you need to do. Is it taking action on your first side hustle? Is it opening up a Robinhood account? Is it starting a blog? Is it starting a YouTube channel or a podcast? Like, I'm not sure what that is for you. Like, only you know that, only God knows that for you. But what I do know is that it's taking those micro steps. You know, just making sure that you are improving yourself each and every day. And that's what I get really excited about when I see people, commenters, subscribers that are leaving comments and letting me know, like, hey, I did this, you know, or I'm doing this. Opening up a Roth IRA, I registered a domain, I'm buying a camera to start a YouTube channel. And what they probably don't realize is that when I see those things happening, like they are impacting their future net worth like they don't even know. And anyway, that's why I wanted to share this video for you. So I hope this has been inspiring, and if there's anything else that you would love to see me break down more casually on my nice chair here, let me know in the comments below. I'm just here, I want to help out, I want to give back, and I hope that you got any value out of this video. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, or share it with somebody else that you think could benefit from hearing what I have to share here on the Wealth Hacker channel. All right, y'all, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, your life, and only you can make it awesome. Peace.